we return to a book I read recently called The Martian by Andy Weir. I recently watched the movie for The Martian. I really enjoyed this book. It was a 5-star read for me. I enjoyed it. Really have no complaints. It was a 5 out of 5. Really, really big fan of this book. So, of course, I knew there was a movie, and whenever I read a book where I know there's a movie, I try to watch the movie. So I watched The Martian. Not my favorite. Not my favorite movie made after a book. I personally think that Matt Damon had a great look for an astronaut and for Mark Watney, but I just always pictured Mark Watney having a little more energy about him in the way that he delivered the things that he said and, all of his inner musings. I know there were times where, Matt Damon got excited and told jokes and stuff, but it never seemed to mesh with my mental idea of who Mark Watney was and how he behaved. But of course, whatever. It's cool to have Matt Damon in the movie. He's a great actor. I feel like the draw of the book was how he would encounter these problems, solve them quickly, and then go about the next problem. We did not get to see as much of that in the movie as I would have liked, just because all of that was his monologues and his data logs, and you can't just have a movie where Matt Damon sits down and talks to the camera for hours and hours. I get that. There were a couple of scenes that were in the book that I felt were left out of the movie that could have been helpful. And I'll tell you what really threw me. Really enjoyed the movie for the most part up until the very end. They changed up the ending in the movie. Instead of Beck rescuing Mark, it is Commander Lewis rescuing Mark. And that chair that she sits in to fly over to him to rescue him, it just took all of any cool factor out of that rescue. That is the goobiest looking chair. The shot of her inside that suit, inside that chair, about to go get him is like the most. It's not their fault. That's what the technology looks like, but it just looked so gooby. It completely threw me off. Like all of the other Ares mission gear looked really cool and futuristic, but this is like just sitting on a marshmallow chair to go save Mark in the middle of space. It was a very goofy last couple minutes of the movie. Very goofy, and it really threw me off. Let me know if you feel the same way. Maybe you don't. Maybe you thought it was a 5 out of 5 movie and a 5 out of 5 book. Maybe you hated the book and loved the movie. I don't know. But that's my take on the movie, The Martian. I'll watch it again one day, but I really prefer the book.